Alright, as you can probably see beside me here and out the back, winter has struck. We are sitting at minus 12 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. Maybe I'll put it up here somewhere. This is the last weekend I'm going to be doing anything on the bus. Going by myself today. I'm going to put the reflectors on the outside if I can find rivets that'll work. And I think I'm going to build the small cabinet on the inside if I can get it to stay warm enough while I'm in there just with that little propane heater. Let's go find out. Alright, I am at the bus. It is chilly in here. Minus 11 or 12 outside Celsius. It's minus 11, 12, something like that inside. But I've got Mr. Buddy heater, and it should. This is an experiment, hoping to see that that thing really warms it up in here. What am I doing today? Well, like I said earlier, this is the last weekend for work on the bus, I'm quite sure. It's now just too cold. And I got to get the bus out of here. It's in my parents' way for the winter, so I need to get it out of here. So today I am going to put the reflectors on the outside of the bus that I have forgotten about for weeks. And I'm hoping to build the cabinet up front there if I can get it warm enough in here. And I got to put the winter front back on, which I'm not sure if it's here or if it's at the house. I got to put the clips back on for it anyway. The screw holes are there, so I can just rivet that back on, because diesel engines do not like to be cold. So you put a winter front on them and you're good. What else? I'll be taking a bunch of stuff home today, tools and such, because we won't be doing any work, and I'm not leaving our tools in the bus over the winter when it's parked. So, oh, and I also got to measure the windows and measure the depth of the window pockets for the for the coverings that we're going to be making, so that we can tell for sure exactly what we need to make. And then we'll be making one of those. When I say we, I mean Christina. She'll be making one of those as a template, and then I think we'll run out to the bus at some point and try it out, see how it works. But for now, I think I'm just going to let it warm up in here. I'm going to start putting on the reflectors. I guess a good place to start. There we go. Reflectors are put back on. There's along the side. There's two orange ones and a red one at the back. In front of the wheels is orange, behind the wheels is red, and there's two red ones on the very back. So I've riveted those on, and then around the front here, I riveted the clips back on for the winter front, which the winter front is in my dad's garage right now, warming up, so I can put it back on. And that's it for outside. I'm cold. Got the heater running. Had to change propane bottles because I used up half of it last week. Heater's going, took the chill out of the air. Dad's grabbing me a electric space heater as well. I am going to move this saw out of my way, and I'm building the cabinet that goes there. That's all I'm really doing today. And then I'm going to grab a bunch of the tools and stuff out of here today, whatever I can fit in the truck, and take it back home. Find a place to put it in the mess of a basement. But got to get this thing ready to go. Alright, now that I can barely see my breath in here, I'm going to build cabinet for in here. It's going to come up to just under the window there with the rest of the wood. And it's going to have a cabinet in the top, like a top section with a hinged lid on it. That'll get hinged eventually. That will hold our stove. I would show you how that would work, but I don't have the stove handy. Rather than us leaving it on the countertop all the time, the stove, because it's just a butane stove, is just going to go in here and in the very top, and you just flip up the lid and pull it out, and away we go. So let me get started on building this. Alright, so now I've got my sideboards. I'm going to put them good side facing out, and I need to drill some holes, some pocket screws. I'm going to put 4 in the bottom to hold it into the floor so that it doesn't move around. So I'm putting my handy dandy pocket hole jig. on which one looks better. This one looks a little bit nicer, so I may put that towards the front, as you will see that. This one looks pretty good too. I'll decide that when I get to it. The cross braces will go between the wall of it, the end of the cabinet here and the end of the cabinet here. There'll be a cross brace in here on both front and back, and it's going to be set down because I'm going to have that cabinet piece open up in the top. Let me show you why. Okay, we have this, you know, 2-burner. It's not a Coleman, but it's a 2-burner butane stove with a butane canister on either end, and you got independent burners. This is our stove, obviously. We're going to set this in the top of that cabinet, so I need to make sure the cabinet that it's going to be deep enough to put the lid down. The lid will be surface mounted, so I want the lid to be on top, and then get this down deep enough so that it's going to sit in there with the lid closed. So I just need to measure the depth here, and then I'm going to put a couple cleats down and the brackets and the bracing for the walls to hold them together. That's all going to go down below this so that I can get everything in place. And it'll be, I think I have 1/2-inch material, and I'll just make the shelf out of 1/2-inch material. So there's my cabinet as is, where I'm leaving it for this year. I didn't film it because it got cold in here, the heater's not working properly, and I just rushed through to get this all put together. So I'll end up veneering the sides and the top of this in the spring. In the top here, I put rails around and a shorter one in here. That's just to carry the shelf that's going to go in there for the stove to sit on when it's being packed away. I'm going to have to change where the wires come out to underneath that rail, so the stereo will go in here. So this piece here is quite big, while up to about here is where that stove is going to be, and then the stereo will go in here, and that should be pretty good. And then I'll put a shelf along the bottom, and then one adjustable shelf halfway up, and that'll be done. So that's sitting in there nice and secure. I am very happy with how that turned out. And that's it. That's all we're doing for this year. I am going to vacuum up a bit, pack up all the tools. Everything that's coming out of here is coming out today if I can. I've got my truck here, so I'm going to bring it around the back by the bus, and I'm going to pack all these tools up, bring them up to the front, wrap up extension cords and everything, and tuck them in the shelf in a cabinet, do whatever I need to. Maybe I will set you up front, and we'll do a sped up version of me trying to clean. That's it. Bus is emptied out. Everything coming out is out. It's nice and clean. And we're pretty much stuck now until the spring. We could probably do some little things here and there, but where it's going to be parked is a little ways away, and we don't really have easy access to power and stuff. So if we built something and took it out just to test fit or something, but I think what we're going to do is call it for the year. Maybe do the window coverings, a test one anyway, and then run out and test it. So, sorry, not going to have very much bus stuff for now. You'll have to deal with us going hiking and snowboarding and other weird things that we do. We'll pick up the bus as soon as the snow is gone out of this yard.